Well, good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don with you at 9:28 Central, 10:28 Eastern on your Sunday, July 21st, 2024, with live severe weather coverage. We have a flood warning that has now been issued. A flash flood is taking place over in Carroll County, just south of Carrollton, down in the Bowden area. So the National Weather Service out of Peachtree City has issued a flood warning for southern Carroll County this morning, and you can see the text of that warning scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Also, just want to let you know that the rain may be subsiding a little bit in that area south of Carrollton, down toward Bowden. Down 100 back toward Graham and extreme northeast Randolph County. But the water, the runoff from the rain that has been relentless in that area over the last couple of hours will continue to build. So flash flooding can certainly continue. Places like Roopville, over toward Bowden, Bucktown, Oak Grove, and even up into southern Carrollton, we could see some flash flooding taking place there as well. Now, I know we've got copious amounts of rain falling in East Randolph County, and I'm going to talk about that in just a bit. But I want to get this warning information out there for our folks who follow us in Carroll County. Again, that is a flood warning that is now in effect for central and southern Carroll County. If you'll bear with me just 1 second, and we will give you the text of that. I'll read it to you. This warning is in effect until 2:15 p.m. this afternoon. Flash flood warning for southwestern Carroll County in northwestern Georgia at 10:16 a.m. Doppler radar and an automated rain gauge in the area indicated thunderstorms producing heavy rainfall across the warned area. Between 2 and 3.5 inches of rain have already fallen. The expected rainfall rate is 1 to 1.5 inches per hour. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches are possible in the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing and is expected to begin shortly. Flash flooding is caused by thunderstorms, of course, and again, this is being indicated by radar and automated gauges in the particular area. So, and I apologize for looking off camera there, but I've got monitors everywhere in here, and so I had to go to a backup source there to get the text of that. But again, the text of the warning is scrolling at the bottom of the screen if you want to read that. And I'm afraid this is going to become a common theme across East Alabama and West Georgia, especially over the course of the next several days, because if you watched our primetime forecast earlier this morning, I told you that we have a stalled out front right across central Alabama, East Alabama, up into northeast Georgia, and we're going to have multiple rounds of disturbances that are going to run right along and just south of that stalled out cold front, maybe between now and Friday of next week. And so we're going to really get drenched good over the next 4, 5, maybe 6 days. And these thunderstorms are tropical acting. They're not really tropical thunderstorms from a tropical system, but the production of rain within these thunderstorms, very proficient. Just as though it were a tropical system, and therefore you heard in what I just read you, 1 to 2 inch rain output per hour. These storms are capable of. So if you get that much rain that quick, then you're going to have flash flooding. And this is a part of Alabama and Georgia that's very rural. And so there are a ton of county roads, dirt roads that have culverts. And I think probably the biggest danger there in southwestern Carroll County at this hour is going to be some of those unimproved dirt roads out in the county, and it's going to be from washed out culverts. That's why we tell you, if you're going to be driving some of these roads today, I know folks are out going to church, and there's going to be a lot of travel going on this afternoon. If you're going to be traveling those dirt roads, if you see water over the roadway, don't take a chance on driving over it. You don't know if that culvert is still there or not, and you're simply going to risk a life threatening situation if you try to drive into it, even if you think the water's only 1 inch or so. You still don't know what's under that water. It's muddy water. You can't see. All it takes is the inlet side of a culvert to get stopped up with debris, and then that pipe goes away. You can't tell whether it's there or not. You drive over it with your automobile, and next thing you know, you're whitewater rafting down the river in your automobile, and you don't want to do that. So it's just not worth taking that risk. All right, so let's talk about this rain that we have occurring there in East Alabama and West Georgia, down in Randolph and portions of western Heard County. A very heavy rainfall now from Woodland all the way back down to Potash. Basically, the County Road 87 corridor in Randolph County from up there at Graham all the way back down to Highway 22 in just east of Roanoke, a complete washout right now. I mean, that is very heavy rainfall that's occurring, and you've likely picked up well over 1 inch of rain in those areas in the last hour or so. And we're judging that off of the rain gauge up in the Bowden area, because it's showing that between 8 a.m. and 9:30, 3.5 inches of rain. So that's about 90 minutes. You received 3.5 inches of rain in southwestern Carroll County. So that thunderstorm has dissipated, but the runoff continues. And a lot of times the flooding and those washed out culverts and washed out dirt roads really don't happen until well after the cloud's gone. So that's, I know you're scratching your head saying, why are we under a flood warning up here in southwest Carroll County? It's not raining anymore. That's because it takes a minute for the water to hit those basins and then start causing problems on those culverts. And down here in Randolph County, especially the eastern side of Randolph and the western sections of Heard County, the rain is ongoing. It's still happening right now. Would not surprise me at all to see a flash flood warning come out shortly for western Heard County from the National Weather Service at Peachtree City. Not sure Birmingham's going to pull that trigger on Randolph County. Maybe they should, because that is very heavy rainfall occurring just to the east and southeast of Woodland, and then around Potash and points to the north. We'll go in a little bit closer. We're talking about the Bethel community. We're talking about Napoleon, Big Springs, in Heard County, Red Oak, Ridgeway, and then back over toward Franklin, down toward Adamson, Texas, Georgia there in western Heard County, Waresville. Very heavy rainfall out there on Highway 22 going into Georgia, where it turns into 34 at the state line, and then just east of Rock Mills. Very heavy rain continues back over toward the Lime community, just north of Glenn and just southwest of Denver in Heard County, and Macocius Mill down in extreme southeastern Randolph County. And then we have some pockets of heavier rain showers in Chambers County near Welch, Stroud, and then back between Pennon and Doublehead and 5 Points. Some heavy rain occurring there also. Not only are these showers and thunderstorms very proficient in producing rainfall rates, it's not moving very quickly. So that's why we're seeing these flash flood warnings pop up on your Sunday morning. Now, here's the good news. None of this is severe. We have no special weather statements out there at the moment. So we're not looking at severe thunderstorms, high winds. We're not looking at tornadic activity or anything like that. But a lot of people get out and ride around in the country on Sunday. And I'm concerned, especially up there in southwestern Carroll County and now eastern Randolph and western Heard, that we're going to see some problems on some of those dirt roads, especially where the culverts go under the road. So you got to make sure you be very careful. And if there is any water running across a dirt road, do not cross it. Turn around, don't drown. Don't take that chance. We'll zoom back out and show you the big picture across East Alabama and West Georgia. And honestly, at the moment, that's about the only thing that's taking place on radar. It's in southern Cleburne, down through extreme northeastern Randolph, down the eastern side of Randolph, and back over into western Heard County, and then stretching down into extreme northern Chambers. There are a few small scattered showers in Clay. And then really the activity drops off and picks back up again, back over toward the Alabama-Mississippi state line. And so this is what we're going to see today. That cold front that we keep talking to you about that stalled out across the area. I'm going to see if we can get the teleprompter up, and I'm going to show you what we're talking about here. It may take just a moment for this thing to warm up, but I'm going to kind of draw some stuff on the screen for you and show you what we are looking at and why we're going to be in a wet pattern for quite some time. So that front stretches something like so. That white line you see on the screen is our cold front, and that continues on down to about New Orleans. So just north of this cold front and just south of this cold front, over the next 5, 6, 7 days, we're going to see showers and thunderstorms continue to train over the same locations. This front may meander a little bit to the north and a little bit to the south from time to time, giving some relief. That looks a little bit better. If it moves north 50, 60 miles, then this area in North Alabama, Northwest Georgia is going to get in to the rain activity, and maybe some of this lifts to the north, and we see a little relief across East Alabama and West Georgia. If it stays stationary, you see where the rain is. If it drops a little bit further south, then maybe we get on the north side of this front, and we don't have quite as much rain. But as it meanders back and forth over the next 4, 5, 6 days, we're going to see a lot of rain across central Alabama, East Alabama, West Georgia, and then up into the northeast Georgia mountains as well. And so the opportunity will certainly be there for occasional flash flood warnings across the area. The Storm Prediction Center may go with a flash flood watch at some point. Not sure about that and haven't seen any discussion about that possibility. But I know that with this front stalled out in the area, we are going to be in the soup for several days, and it doesn't take much, just as what we've seen happen here in Carroll County this morning. It doesn't take but one of these storms to sit over your house for an hour or so to get you into flooding situation. So keep all of that in mind and be extremely careful if you're going to be out there driving. Avoid water running across the roadways. And I know I've been preaching about dirt roads, but the same thing holds true for paved roads as well, especially at night. You just can't see what's under that water. No reason to take that kind of chance if you're out there driving and you encounter water across the roadway. All right, let me run over here to the chat room and see if we have any comments. There's Cassandra. Good morning to you. She says it's pouring at their house, thundering and lightning, and she's encouraging everyone to stay safe. Miracle's asking the question, will LaGrange get any of this rain? Yeah, I think you will. Foster's Crossroads is in the house. There's Kathy encouraging everyone to be safe. Todd is telling us that Franklin, Ridgeway, and Frelonia areas in Heard County getting slammed, heavy thunder and downpours. Thank you for that report, Todd. Keep them coming. Now, let me say this. Let me preface Todd's report. He's giving us good ground truth information on what's actually taking place there. The Weather Service has not issued anything on this storm. It is by definition below severe limits. Now, the criteria to get a severe thunderstorm warning is winds in excess of 58 miles per hour, hail 1 inch in diameter or larger. We have neither of those two taking place this morning in Heard County. But what we do have is intense rainfall, a tremendous amount of rainfall, raining at the rate of 1 to 2 inches per hour. And when the column is that saturated, then it produces a tremendous amount of lightning. And, of course, that's where the thunder comes from. So that's why you're getting a lot of thunder and lightning this morning there across Heard County. You've just got some really intense rainfall that's taking place in the area. Let's see. Tin Shop is in the house. There's another report from Heard County. Things are looking wild. Glenn's watching us in Napoleon. Hot and sunny in Coldwater. That's probably not a good thing, Cindy. You don't really want a lot of sunshine because that's going to help destabilize the atmosphere. However, this is not really a significant severe weather setup. Could we have a rogue severe storm or two as we get into the heating of the afternoon? Certainly we could. But we're not looking at widespread severe weather with this particular type setup. But that sunshine in Coldwater is not going to help your case any. Shane's watching this at Mount Zion. Bobby says it's been raining in Fredonia, but the sun is out now. Hey, Kim. Trying to get the grass cut, around these showers at Taylor's Crossroads. Well, see, my intention was to do a little weed eating this afternoon, but I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I've noticed that earlier, and that's what I'm saying. The Storm Prediction Center is showing some pretty good surface-based instability as we get into the heating of the afternoon. Anything over about 1,000 joules becomes significant. You get to 2,500 to 3,000. That is but one ingredient you need to get severe weather going. If this were a true severe weather environment, then that 2,500 to 3,000 joules of CAPE would be extremely significant. That would be a major tornado outbreak, most likely. But there are other things you have to look at as well, and some of the other parameters just aren't there. We don't have any veering in the atmosphere, for one thing. So it would be kind of hard to get these storms to rotate. But if we get one or two that do rotate in the heat of the afternoon, the rest of the ingredients needed for severe weather will certainly be in place. That's why I'm saying a rogue severe storm or two later on today certainly cannot be ruled out. I hear you. When you only come to town on the weekends, you have no choice to work around the showers. I get it. Rebecca's watching us from the flood warning area of Bowden, Georgia. Dana's in Tin Shop. Chrissy says it's raining in Cragford. Certainly. I mean, if anybody has a live webcam anywhere across the areas we cover of East Alabama and West Georgia, we tried to do this once before with security systems, but I kind of backed off of that because I don't really want to have, I just feel a little strange asking someone to give me access to their security cameras, even though I was only asking for outdoor cameras. That's still, I really don't want, I mean, if you have one, you don't mind sharing it, and you can only give me access to your outdoor cameras, I'm cool with that. But I don't want the password to your security system, and that's kind of where we were going the last time we looked into doing that. But if you do have a camera, an outdoor camera, that you don't mind sharing with me, I can promise you I won't share it with anybody else, the credentials at least, so that we can show what's happening in these areas across East Alabama and West Georgia. By all means, just send me a message on Messenger and give me the information that I need to access it, and we certainly will look at the possibilities of doing that. I have looked into putting some weather cameras across East Alabama and West Georgia. And, folks, I just got to tell you, it's extremely expensive to do it the way the big television stations do it anyway. I would love to do that. We just have to come up with the resources to be able to make that happen. So, that's a great segue. If you own a business in East Alabama and West Georgia and would like to be a supporter of Dr. Don's Weather, heck, if you own a business and you want to help provide us with a weather camera so we can show live weather across East Alabama and West Georgia, get in touch with me. It can be your ABC company live weather cam. I mean, we can do that. No problem at all. Just send me a message on Messenger and we'll figure it out. Yeah, well, it's not going to lower the instability or change the weather conditions because that front has just parked right on top of us, and that's allowing that moisture to come up from the Gulf of Mexico, and we're going to stay in the soup probably through the end of this upcoming week, the way it's looking right now. And I'm not extremely concerned about severe weather, but I am becoming more and more concerned about the possibilities of flooding. I mean, we're really just now getting this event underway, and we've already had Carroll County, southwest Carroll County, go under a flood warning. So I really think that's going to end up being the issue with this storm system over the next several days. Or at least the opportunity will be there for it anyway. Okay, so we're not going to do wall-to-wall coverage. We just wanted to jump in here and let you folks in southwestern Carroll County know about the flood warning, and that is going to go until 2:15 p.m. Eastern. So we got a ways to go on that flood warning for Carroll County. And actually, let's go back to the radar. Go in a little closer for you, and you can see that the northern edges of that line that's moving through Heard County is stretching up into southwestern Carroll. So just south of Bucktown, right there where 100 runs out of Heard County into Carroll, that area is getting hammered again. You already had a thunderstorm move through that dumped about 3.5 inches of rain in this area. And now we've got heavy rain in there again. Let me go over to Blackjack Mountain Road, New Mexico Road. These are in extreme southwestern Carroll County. Old Roanoke Road. Merlin Road, Sardis Bethel Road, Mitchell Road, Old Columbus Road, and even down into northwestern Heard County. Billy Smith Road, Upper Caldwell Road, Veal Road, Palmer Road. You likely have got some flash flooding taking place down here. Even though the Weather Service has not pulled the trigger on a warning for Heard County, you're right there on the Carroll County line. I would be extremely careful from Ephesus all the way up to just south of Bowden if you're going to be traveling in this area this morning. And even back over in eastern Randolph, where this heavy rain has been ongoing for a while. I would be extremely careful if you're out there traveling. If you, especially if you're on a dirt road and you encounter water across the road, don't do it. Turn around, don't drown. And I'll zoom back out to kind of show you the overall picture. We have those heavier rains now moving into Heard County from Franklin all the way back up to the Carroll County line. And then in the southern sections of Heard County, right along the Troup County line, back into northern Chambers County. Now, I'm going to put this in motion to kind of give you a sense of the direction that these showers are moving, and you can see that they're moving extremely slow. I mean, we're talking 10, maybe 15 miles per hour. at best, if not less than that. For the moment, LaGrange, it looks like this southern edge of this line is going to stay up on the north end of Lake West Point, probably just north of downtown LaGrange, but it's moving so slow, and the southern edge of this could be back building. So I can't tell you for sure whether you're going to get any of this in LaGrange proper or not. I certainly think on the northern fringes of LaGrange you probably will, all the way up to the Heard County line. And that's really all that's going on in East Alabama and West Georgia at the moment. I believe that will change in time. As we zoom out and show you the entire area, you'll see some more showers and thunderstorms north of Meridian, Mississippi. And you see little green splotches all over central Alabama. And as the heating of the day kicks in, those areas will continue to grow in coverage and probably in intensity as well. So this will fill in nicely, I think, as we top the noon hour and get into the early afternoon hours. Yeah, even though this is not a really significant severe weather setup today, still sunshine's not a good thing. The sun is the oven, all right? So you take a pot of water, you sit it on a stove with the oven turned off or the stove turned off. What's going to happen? Nothing. You put it on low, and eventually you're going to get a little steam coming off of it. You put that joker up there on high, and within a short period of time, you start what? The water starts to boil. Well, temperature and weather works. I mean, that's a simple analogy, but it's good. It works because that's basically the same thing that happens with weather. If you have very little heat, then the atmosphere is cool. You might get some rain, but that rain's going to continue to cool the upper levels of the. You got to have some warm air somewhere. It may be cool at the surface. It may be warm in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but you start to get that rain. It cools the atmosphere. The rain goes away, and it's over. But in a setup like we have today with a stalled front right across central Alabama, you have all that warm, moist air coming up off the Gulf of Mexico. And then as the sun gets at its highest angle in the sky, it starts to boil that moisture. And then that's where these big thunderstorms blow up. And so I really think we're going to see an increase of heavy rain by this afternoon. Of course, the heavy rain brings the thunder and lightning, and the heavy rain, of course, also will bring that flash flooding threat as well. So that's kind of what we're looking at today. And we are going to be monitoring this as we go throughout the afternoon. Rain falling is telling us, let's see here. I'm just reading some of the comments in the chat room. The chat room just went away. All right, so I've lost it on this end for some reason. All right, so we're going to step aside. I'll be watching this offline, and, of course, if we get any more threatening weather, I'll be right back with you, and we'll continue with our live coverage. But from now through about 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon, be very careful if you're going to be traveling in southwestern Carroll County, northwestern Heard County, and across eastern Randolph County. Tremendous amount of rain over the last couple of hours in those areas. Stay with us. We'll continue to cover the weather for you if conditions warrant right here on Dr. Don's Weather. Enjoy your Sunday.